All right. All right. We seem to be good on audio, and we are therefore free to roam once more. Welcome back, everybody, to another stream of games I've beaten way too many times, but I want to complete it on a different version of the game, air quote, in order to make sure I've got the save data. And I'll get into that story a little bit more if you did not watch the previous stream where we did this, because as you can see, we made a pretty decent headway here. We are basically starting at the adult section. The good news is, however, we don't have to deal with all the cutscenes of opening the door, pulling the sword, talking to Raru, talking to Sheik. We can just hop right in. So with that, we are free to go. But for those of you that have not watched that stream, because I have not not put it on archives, excuse me, we have done pretty much everything we could at the time as a kid, except for one thing I stupidly forgot to do, which was get a Pona song, which would be right here. So I will be doing that in the future, probably in this session, I would imagine. However, all of the upgrades we can get are good. Deku Sticks, Deku Nuts, the bombs, the slingshot, those are all upgraded. We are only missing the one bottle that you can get as an adult, and then everything else is all stuff you can only acquire as an adult. So I believe we're good to go, pretty much. It's just tragically forgot Epona song. I went there, I got the Piece of Heart, I got the Skulltulas, I got the bottle, and forgot the song. Tragically, I cannot go back and get it right now as a kid, because in order to do that, I have to have beaten the Forest Temple. So, unfortunately, no dice on that right away. We'll have to finish that first, we can get the Prelude of Light, and then we'll be good to go. So getting back into the story of why playing this run specifically, this is going to be all hearts. I don't necessarily think it'll be 100%. In fact, I know it won't be because I'm not going to get all the Skulltulas. But I will get all the Pieces of Heart and all the upgrades. But the only reason I'm doing this is because back in the day I had a copy of Zelda Collector's Edition, which you saw at the very beginning, which is some demos for Wind Waker prior to it coming out. Zelda 1, Zelda 2, this game, which is Zelda 5, technically, and Majora's Mask, which is Zelda 6. And had a copy of the game and lost it somewhere along the way. Still had the case for it, oddly. I don't know what happened to it. It just up and vanished. And then I bought a copy for a friend of mine, and then also myself this last year. And as a result, I figured it would be just something to hop into and make sure I have a completed file on my current memory card. Also, how's it going, Aztec? Welcome. You are just in time to watch me race Mr. Dampy. And then probably race him again, because admittedly I'm not very good at the race. I will try my best, but there is no promise that I will do well. We'll just have to see how it goes. So for the record, obviously the tag's already there. Feel free to spoil stuff in the game. I've played this a million times. We can talk about spoilers. We can do all that good stuff. Yeah, we'll just stay up here. For 100 sub special. Nice. I am doing largely pretty well. I'm hoping that after the 2 days off I had, I'm going to be very well rested, because I am working tonight, and my next day off is at earliest, and probably won't be that day, but at absolute earliest, it will be the 3rd of June. So that's something to look forward to. If you're wondering why no days off, it's because one of our current full-time employees is getting laser eye surgery, which is fine, because we knew about that like months in advance. The problem is, admin didn't do anything to prepare for it, even though they've known since January, which is pretty typical of administration, so yay! So everybody else is going to have to be working with no breaks for 2 weeks, potentially 3. Could only be potentially 1. Recovery on laser eye surgery, at least this particular procedure for him, is pretty short. It's only supposed to be a week, but we'll see how it goes. Nope, not quite. Oh well. I thought I was going to get it, and I did not quite succeed. The big downside I have to this, and yes, I know it's an excuse, is I have the TV down pretty low because I don't want my mic to echo. Normally I would listen to him drop the fireballs. The problem is I can't hear them. So I'm using sight and sight alone. But now, good news! We have probably one of the best items in the game. I'm going to count this and the long shot as the same entity. I know that they're technically different, but it's an upgrade, really. So we have the almighty hookshot. While holding C, you can aim with eh. Try shooting it by releasing C. Alright. I don't think we've seen these yet, so I'll go ahead and show them off. I was going to show the little trick, but I guess I'll do that if I mess up on the Dampy race. Because I believe this is the first time running into the Song of Time blocks, which makes sense, because you only get the Song of Time right before switching into an adult. I do want to go ahead and show this off. The heart piece here, if you miss the jump, and I'm willing to bet most people already know this, one of the things you can do is if you can line yourself up and backflip up onto this little pedestal here, you can do a rolling jump and get back up. So you don't have to go and repeat the entire rigmarole if you mess it up, which is nice. I don't think it has to be this one specifically. I think any of the pedestals will do to get you to the center. This is just the one I used. So yeah, if you really don't like that jump, then it'll be a little bit easier than going all the way back around. But speaking of going all the way back around, it is time to go all the way back around, because there's one other thing we can pick up. And before I forget it, speaking of forgetting songs, you've got an ocarina. What the heck? That reminds me of that time, 7 years ago. He played the coolest song in the game. Well, I mean, that's just one man's opinion, but I like the Song of Storms. Need to start streaming Majora. Yeah, Majora's my favorite, and I probably will play it after this. Maybe not directly after, but I will be definitely be playing Majora as well. Majora's my favorite in the series. I still like Ocarina. It's still pretty solid. It's probably sitting around like 4th or 5th for my favorite. But Majora's definitely my favorite, for sure. Which is ironic, because I probably don't know Majora as well as Ocarina. I know, like, how to get through temples and stuff like that, but in terms of where everything is, I would probably miss some stuff. There's some stuff I just straight up wouldn't remember. Alright, let's do that race one more time. And yes, I do know that there's the trick with using the hookshot on the, I wanted to say candelabras. They're not candelabras. They're just basically torches. To get the speed boost, I've always found it's kind of more trouble than it's worth, personally. And so as a result, I don't do that, but if you gotta, you gotta. Yeah, I messed that one up. Alright. We'll keep going here until we find a spot that will knock us out of the level. It should be right here, yeah. So now we wait. Really, the only thing you have to be careful about waiting is I think you take a full heart for a penalty. Yeah, you take a full heart for a penalty. There are jars on the side of the inside of the grave here that will have hearts. I don't think they're infinitely spawning hearts, but if you need a couple hearts back, you can get a couple hearts. And I think there's some money in there. Pretty sure there's a red rupee in one of them. But we're obviously good on that, since we did the mask side quest. That's always the worst section right there, is having to basically make a U-turn. I'm going to continue to keep going here just to see if I can manage it, but if I can't, I can't. No big deal. Nah, that's too slow. I'm pretty sure if you're past 50 by the time you get to that section, it's time to put it in the deep freeze. This was not the best thing to start on for having not played the game for a couple weeks. I'd say it's a shame that they don't have like a designated pattern in which he throws the fireballs, but if he did, everyone would know it, and then it would be really, really easy, so I guess it's fine. I'm pretty sure that stall messed me up. Well, maybe not. But based on where I climbed it, it was either stall or get hit by it, and it would take an even greater penalty, so... Alright, that'll work. No sweat. Piece of art. Nice. Alright, so yeah, the trick to this is if you, like, don't get the required time and you still jump in here, you can do that. Side off to the left and then back to the right, and it'll spit you back out here. That's more useful in a randomizer if you want to do that race, but you don't have the Song of Time and therefore can't get out because of the blocks, and then you'd have to do a software reset. So yeah, if you want to, options there. But we got there in the end. Alright. Got the hook shot, got the piece of heart. We already got the guy on the roof, like, ages ago. So, I don't think... I mean, we could go back to... Could we do that? Yeah, I guess we could, but I'm not gonna... Well, it's not gonna be for a heart container. But I might forget it. We'll see how I'm feeling once I actually get there. I've planted 2 of the beans thus far, the one that we saw in the graveyard there, and then also the one in Lake Hylias. We can get the heart piece there. But we would be going there just for that, like it wouldn't be anything else. Then we'd have to turn right back around and go to Kokiri Forest, so... See, this is going back to if I'd been smart and remembered Epona song, we could have ridden Epona there and it would have been way faster, but oh well. Why not? We might as well. In the meantime, how's everybody else doing just in general, outside of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, as it were? Starting to enjoy the summer for anybody that's in school, be it high school, middle school, university, whatever. For those in college, university, probably finished up. For school, you've got like maybe 2 weeks, give or take. Maybe 1 week. What are the Zelda games I played? I have played all of them. There's only 2 that I have not completed. One was Minish Cap, and that was because I rented the game. This was a long-ass time ago. I rented the game from Blockbuster, which again shows a long time ago, and just didn't have enough time to finish it. And the other was Spirit Tracks. I got too bored, and I had to put it down. And looking at where I was percentage-wise, because I'd asked somebody who had beaten it, like, roughly how far I was like 2/3 of the way through the game, and it literally could not hold my interest for almost a single minute of it, which is impressive, because I'm including the CDI games in that. I've played Wand of Gameleon, like, I've played all those, I've finished all those. And Spirit Tracks, I couldn't do it. It was just not interesting to me. And I don't even remember why anymore now. It's still sitting on my shelf. I can still see it from where I'm sitting now. I still have it, just no urge to go back and play it. If I remember right, you actually don't need the magic bean for this one. I think you can play the Scarecrow song if you go over to him right now and just do that. Once you got the hook shot. Nope, don't need that. We'll just leave that there on the roof. I always have to wait for that guy, because he gets me every time I'm trying to go up this ladder. Oh, that's a really cool shot there of... Oh my gosh, Navi. Don't ruin it. I know the water's gone, but that looks really cool. I usually don't care for, like, the early morning times in Zelda games when it comes to, like, time of day, but in Ocarina it always looks really pretty right before it hits the normal greens. And then I think we've done a fair few 3-heart runs. I don't think we've 3-heart runned every 3D Zelda game on stream, but we've done most of them on stream. We've done this, we've done Majora, we've done Skyward Sword for sure. I'm pretty sure we did Breath of the Wild on stream. And we did Twilight Princess and Wind Waker on stream, I'm pretty sure. Maybe not Twilight Princess on stream, but I did do that one. But I might go back and redo all the 3-heart runs, honestly. I've enjoyed them a lot. So I would not be opposed to doing 3-heart runs again. Especially not the one for Wind Waker. It's been a hot minute since I played Wind Waker, honestly. I think that's the one that's had the longest time since I played it. Because I'm playing this one now. I played Majora, at least part of it, semi-frequently. Breath of the Wild, Skyward Sword, and Twilight Princess I played within the last 2 years. But Wind Waker's been longer than that, I'm pretty sure. I would like to give it another chance. I'd love for it to see a Switch port, too. Because I love the HD remaster. The big downside is the system it's on. See, that's the kicker. It fixed pretty much every problem I had with that game, honestly. It's just not on a good system. If it was on the Switch, perfect. Would love it on the Switch. That big bulky gamepad makes using the boomerang especially hard in that game. And I know you could just use the Wii U Pro controller, sure. But, you know... that shouldn't have to be the case for a controller. You should be able to just use the default controller and it works and feels fine. Because otherwise it kind of just makes you look like the person of like, yeah, we intentionally made a poor controller so you'll spend more money buying another new controller. Because our original design was not good enough. I say that, and of course I grabbed the Pro Controller, like, almost immediately for the Switch, because the Joy-Cons are too small on my hands. And having them docked on the little thing, like, that's fine, but, like, it's not, the controller's not wide enough. I've got pretty large hands, so... the GameCube controller size is, like, perfect for me, which is obviously what I'm playing this on right now. So yeah, the Joy-Cons, I can hide a Joy-Con in my fist, and, like, you will not see it at all. And so as a result, like, any game where you have to use the Joy-Cons, especially if you gotta use them sideways, just does not work that well for me. Take it slow, maybe you can sneak up on some enemies. Or you could do something else that's actually kind of smarter. Which I will show off whenever Navi is done. Any minute now. Okay. Nope, not there. It's basically to duck in and then duck back out. Alright, there we go. Because if you duck in and duck out, it'll pull, like, they'll run towards you, of course, and then they'll miss. Hi. There you go. And you just get behind them whenever they run forward and get them that way. You just have to time it a little carefully, that's all. And I didn't do that there, because I didn't realize he was there until it was too late. You can also blow him up with bombs. Bombs work well. If you really don't want to wait. Nice bank shot there. That was beautiful. Good timing on that. Alright, cool. And the last guy, who's not that bad. I'll even leave him alive. So that's the kind of guy I am. And also because killing him just nets rupees, which I don't need. And even if he dropped hearts, I'm at full on hearts, I'm pretty sure, so that wouldn't matter either. So we will leave him be. Hi, Sheik. How's it going? A thing that doesn't change is a memory of younger days, well, unless you get Alzheimer's and you just forget, you know. And now we can progress after seeing all these little bug things. I'm assuming these are supposed to be like bugs or fireflies or something here. Cicadas, maybe, to replicate the sort of forest/jungle thing going on, maybe. I'll see you again. Yes, you will. You'll see me either at the entrance to the Fire Temple or the Temple of Time. And away we go. Alright, now that those are taken care of, let's move on. If you're wondering how I'm going to do the gold Skulltulas, by the way, I am going to use the glitch with the one that's over by Hyrule Castle. However, I'm only going to do that towards the end. And I'm going to grab every Skulltula that's, like, pretty easily obtainable on the way. So, in theory, we will be either at 50 and I don't need to, or we'll be pretty dang close to 50 and I won't need to for very long. So while I am going to use it, I'm going to try to mitigate it as much as I possibly can. But I'm not going to go out of my way for any Gold Skulltula tokens. Like, the farthest I would go out of my way is if I was doing the... Well, when I'm doing the racing game, the archery racing game with Epona, for the Quiver and the Piece of Heart, I might grab the one on the target at night. Like, that's about as far out of my way as I would go for one. And if it ever looks like I went out of my way for one by a lot, it's probably because I forgot where I was going. And as a result, was like, well, I'm here now, I might as well grab it. Red, purple, blue, and green. I guess that could technically be orange, but pretty sure it's red. Oh well, doesn't matter. They trick you a lot right there, too, by them flying all the, like, different corners. It makes you think that they're going to be in different corners. They're not. Like, they're spread out decently, yeah, but the blue and red ones are so close together that there's no way that they're on opposite corners. Alright. First of all, oops. Yeah, we'll just do that. When these guys actually choose to swing at you, this is a pretty good way to stun them, and then you can get them with a jump attack, too. And ideally, you can get them stuck in a loop like that, because they'll back up and try to swing at you. There you go. That'll work. Not exactly the best showing, but it'll do. Like I said, they're not, like, super useful, but the Deku Nuts do have their uses, like, few and far between. Oh, and for the record, for anybody wondering, we are sticking to a 1 fairy limit. I'm not going to have any more than 1 fairy in a bottle at any given time. Because, quite frankly, it would be boring if there wasn't even a small chance I could die, which at this point, that's probably not going to happen at all, but you never know. Pretty much the minute you get into, like, 8 heart territory, you're probably fine. Pretty much golden at that point. Let's see, we need to go to that left door last. Thankfully, while this dungeon probably is one of the harder ones in the base game along with water, there's a pretty simple strategy to doing this one effectively, as long as you know that you need to get 3 keys basically straight out of the gate. If you can remember that and do that, you're pretty much good. Like, that's going to be the most difficult thing to remember. And luckily, the water temple is almost the exact same thing as a result. The only difference is instead of getting 3 keys, you're going to get 2. And then use up 1 to get 2 more, which will put you again at 3. But if you can remember both those things, like, you've done the bulk of making sure you do things in the right order. So, for that reason, I'd argue Forest is a little bit easier, potentially. I'm going to ignore that, by the way. Again, if you did not watch the first part, I'm ignoring maps and compasses. It's not like a proper 100% playthrough, and I obviously don't need them because I played this game too much. So, really, it would just be a waste of time to watch the cutscene of Link grabbing the map out of the chest and seeing what it does, and the same thing with the compass. So, we're not going to bother. If you're wondering what was in that chest up on the hill, it's a recovery heart, so don't lose too much sleep over it. Reminds me of that old screensaver where you'd go through a maze that was made out of bricks. Well, the computer would. The computer could see the exit and still not go after it, but that's neither here nor there. Alright, 3 keys. Now we can move on and grab the first 2 pose. Off to the west. If you're facing the entrance. Like, you're coming in through the entrance. I know that's east. I would usually call it relative to the map what it is, just for the record. So, if you're like, hey, that's not right, that's left, that's probably what I'm referring to. Is left from the entrance or right from the entrance. There are arrows painted on the floor. Thank you for stating the obvious. Next, you're going to tell me a corridor is all twisted. I remember when I first did this as an LP, like, years ago on YouTube. We're talking, like, 2011, 2012-ish. I'm pretty sure it's closer to 2011. That this room took up, like, so much of one of my videos, not because I didn't understand how the puzzle worked, but just because that was the days of 10-minute time limit. And so doing each of the block puzzles took like 2.5, 3 minutes. So getting through this room actually took up a decent chunk of video to do. I believe I did this either before or after Star Fox Adventures, and I believe it was after. I think it was Majora's Mask. No, it was Mario Party 8, and then Majora's Mask, and then Star Fox Adventures, and then this. I think that's the right order. pushed as far as it can go. I remember a couple people that I watched play this got stuck on that right there of trying to climb up the thing because they figured he'd do it automatically because it's been like a fair bit of time, even if you're playing it just all in one go, between the last time that he didn't automatically do that where you actually had to wait for the icon to change to climb. They just got so used to holding forward that they completely and totally forgot that it was saying climb on screen and all they had to do was hit A. No thanks. Hard pass on that guy. Oh, it's almost like I predicted seeing that. And yep, it's everybody's favorite enemy, the Wall Masters. He lied. I don't mind them in this game, but in Wind Waker they are creepy. Do not like them in Wind Waker at all. Okay. He, like, slid it, like, substantially farther than they normally do from getting hit by the Deku Nut on that last one. I do remember that being an issue, is if you throw them down in that little pit while you're trying to kill the first one, it will, like, be too far to actually hit him with the stun, even if he is in position to. I do like that the stun can also get them in midair while they're jumping. That is very helpful. You know, a swing. There you go. Yeah, took too long. I think that's like the only time in the game that that can happen too, where like if you kill one and you're not fast enough on the other, he can actually get back up. I'm pretty sure even in Ganon's tower, when you're running down the tower while it's going down, they don't do that. I don't know why it's specifically this room, but I've always found that a bit odd. Oops, that's the wrong side. The lighting was too poor. I couldn't see the little lock thing on the front of that one. Alright, so I'm going to start with getting the red one here, I guess. Any pots? Nope. Looking for Deku Nuts, because Deku Nuts are actually kind of broken on these guys. Probably the only time where somebody could genuinely say, wow, that's a useful use for the Deku Nuts. And as to why they are useful, is these guys will turn invisible, the Deku Nuts will make them visible immediately. So you can just keep doing this over and over. They go invisible, smack them with a Deku Nut, jump attack them, just rinse out and repeat 3 times and they go down. Which is a lot better than their typical pattern where they will hit you, turn invisible, hit you again, and then be visible, and then you've got a small window to get them, and then they'll repeat that pattern. So for of their 4 steps, 3 of them they cannot be damaged. It's just, it's way, way easier to use the Deku Nuts. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have full reign on doing that here, on this one. And it really only works on the red and blue. Well, no, I guess it works on green. It works on green. I was going to say based on how they operate. I guess it doesn't work on purple, but it would work on green, no problem. Alright, blue. I don't remember each of the host sisters' names, so... Gonna go invisible. Yeah, so we'll have to wait a cycle this time. That's alright. Let's let him bounce once. It's just a small minor thing. It's not too bad. And that will be the compass, which we don't care about. And thus we will ignore. I believe we need the key from the other side because this will be locked. Yeah, this will be locked. So I guess technically it is wiser to go for blue first and then go back for red because you're already going to be going back this way anyway. Oh well. Ooh, almost didn't make that there. Too low. Alright, let's go get that other key that Mr. Floormaster is guarding. Oh, and also the boss key. Yeah, we might want that. I think it was one of the times I played this on stream, actually. It might have been the 3-heart run? I'm not sure. I actually forgot to grab that. I got all the way to Phantom Ganon's door and couldn't get in there. Easiest little mini-boss slash trap fight ever. I think that's also technically one of the enemies that can get stunned by Deku Nuts, is those guys. There we go. Hello, Mr. Floormaster. What you doing, bud? I'm sorry I have to kill you. He will be missed by all. Unless you're not a fan, in which case he will not be missed. It's funny how little they show up in this game and Majora's Mask both. It's only one in Majora's Mask, and I think there's like that guy, and then a couple of them are in the Shadow Temple, and that's about it, really. I can just get him that way. Here we go. That should be plenty. Thankfully, it's not too hard to restock on those. Alright, do the Deku Nuts work on these guys? Yep, totally do. Yeah, if you want to get them out that way, Deku Nuts work. Because I remember one time I got trapped in the room where the map was because I lost my shield. And I don't remember why, either. I may have just straight up not had one. Like, I didn't bother getting the Hylian one. I only had the Deku one, and so as a result, I just didn't have one as an adult. Maybe? And so I was like, oh, I guess I just soft-locked myself, not thinking, oh, hey, Deku Nuts would have worked. Oh, well. That'd be a pretty interesting soft lock, because it's not impossible that you just forget the Hylian shield, because as a kid, it's not required, it's not as useful in terms of what a shield typically does, because of the weird way it blocks. I usually don't ever use it as a kid unless I'm in a fire area and I don't want to lose the normal one. just skip a little bit here. I'm not going to do, like, insane sequence breaking or anything like that, but little tricks like that to make the dungeons go by faster, that I will do. Even though we've only been in here for about half an hour, probably. Not that long. We're at 41 minutes, and I guarantee you some of that time was spent on the Dampy race, so... It's pretty much just a straight linear shot to the end at this point. It's not too bad. Oh, look, some green ones. We're just gonna ignore those. I've seen many people get to that door and try to figure out where the heck the key they missed was, and then it was the one that was in the starting room before you even get to the pose. So they had to go all the way back and kill the Wolfos that had respawned. To be fair, that room does not feel like a room that there would be a key. Watch out! The ceiling's falling. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. And that will come back down. Thankfully, they're not dickish enough to put one of them on the switch, like where you can't make it, so... Okay, good. For a minute there, I thought I was standing in the way, because the switch won't do anything if you're underneath one of the blocks. Probably because if the block fell on you, it would, like, force the room to reset, so they just tried to mitigate that altogether. But I thought I was standing under that one that landed closest to me for a second. I had a feeling I needed to push it one more time, but I was not 100% sure. Still, this is not exactly a hard puzzle. And if you do mess it up, it'll rotate the blocks around and you can shoot the thing and give it another try. Oh, don't turn red on me like I'm running close to losing time here. It's not that bad. That is vindication for all the times that I played through this game before knowing the Deku Nut trick of just having to sit there and wait. You probably lose like 2 to 3 minutes just waiting on them being in a spot where you can actually attack them. Because the strategy I used to use for dealing with them, I'm just going to shoot them with an arrow because I don't feel like going to my sub-screen, is if you stay far enough away from them, they won't do the spin attack towards you, they'll just like go between visible and invisible. So it's a little bit better that way, but the Deku Nuts are far and away the best way to do that between those three. Don't feel like wasting my arrows. I don't know why I didn't just take the Ocarina off the sub slot there. After I used it for that one block, I didn't use it for the rest of the dungeon, so... Oh, that's the only target. Alright, fine. Problem when you get one of them wrong, they start speeding up. And I'm pretty sure they take the same amount of hits whether you use the hook shot or the bow and arrow. Don't think it makes a difference. Oh, hey, the arrows actually landed on top of the elevator for one. Usually they don't, and then they disappear by the time you get a chance to grab them. Alright, down we go. And give the camera a minor stroke, jeez. I did not appreciate that. This is probably the one puzzle in the dungeon. Not that I don't understand it, I get how it works, but like I don't have the optimal... We didn't need to watch that death, it was too violent. The optimal path. Figured out. That's fine. We'll grab a couple arrows, sure. Like I said, it's not a full 100% run, and I will skip chests that I know have no meaning. There's one earlier in that room where you have to push the 2 big blocks. That if you go back there, there's an arrow switch you can fire and it'll drop a chest, and it gives you a bundle of arrows. And I'm not going all the way back for that. Sorry. It's just not worth the effort. It's really not. That opens the one on the red. That opens the one on blue. Yeah, it's gonna take 2 pushes no matter what we do this time, so it doesn't really matter which way we go. This is just such a weird room, though. Is like, it's pushing that block. I assume it's pushing the wall, not the floor, right? So that's where the boss is, which means we can now go fight Phantom Ganon. Who, for my money's worth, is actually the hardest boss in the game, and it is not for the reason you think. Anybody who has watched me fight this guy before knows exactly what I'm talking about. But I guess we'll see how well it goes today. I'm going to switch the bow to see down. Hi, Ganon. You know it's not him because he doesn't show his teeth when he smiles. Evil spirit from beyond. Well, whatever you want to call yourself, that's fine. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was the first one I checked, but I think I looked away right as he showed up. No, that wasn't him. I was pretty sure that was him. What the difference I can tell is the one that looks lighter, like the armor is lighter on him, it seems to be the real one, but it looked like he had darker armor on the one that was actually him. Yeah, like that was how I told there, is the horse's armor looked darker. Weird. Okay. Typically, I don't have a problem distinguishing between the two. I think that's the first time I've ever made that mistake. Except for maybe like the first time I played where I genuinely just didn't know yet between the two. Yeah, so this is the part that's difficult because sometimes it will just plink off in a random direction. And the reason for that is because, quite simply, the arena is too small. Because the idea of the whole, like, sending the ball back and forth thing was designed for Ganondorf, and it works fine on Ganondorf because the arena's bigger. It's not here. It was not designed, nor was the camera there. Jeez, good lord. It just wasn't designed with Phantom Ganon's fight in mind. So what I'm saying is the most difficult thing about fighting Phantom Ganon is the arena is, like, kind of poopy. Like, that's that's it. That's the most difficult thing is the arena itself. And there you go, he's gone. Like, he himself is not bad. It's not like, oh, I don't know what to do. Nothing like that. It's just the arena. For a mere human, you did quite well. Well, that wasn't very nice. Phantom Ganon just got sent to the Shadow Realm, I guess. Alright, where's that heart at? There it is. Please and thank. Not bad, under an hour of playtime. I'm guessing that was probably like 40-ish minutes. Starting the dungeon to end. Not too bad. I do have work tonight, but we will definitely have time to get, at the very least, the Fire Temple done. And I'll do some of the other side questy stuff involving the bow and arrow. And I'll probably go and get Epona as well. In fact, that's likely the first thing I'll do. Is that what I want to do next? Yeah, that's probably what I want to do next. And depending on time, I might get the 4th bottle now. But that one's kind of a headache, honestly. It's not worth it. It really just, it's not worth having a 4th bottle. You just don't need 4 bottles in this game. The closest you'd ever come to needing 4 would be the Blue Fire stuff later on. But, like, you don't need 4 fairies, you don't need 3 in a potion, like... If it weren't for the Blue Fire, you could probably get away with 2, honestly. Sorry, I will always be your friend. Well, thanks for friend-zoning me, I guess. Granted, she'll always be a kid, so even if she has the mind of an adult, that would be a bit weird. Oh, right, I forgot about this cutscene. This Sprout's gonna have a bit of an issue later on as it starts to grow. Because I think he even mentions he's going to grow. He's not just going to stay like this. Yeah, I can grow and flourish. The fossilized, petrified, whatever you want to call it, the other Great Deku Tree directly behind him, kind of still in the way. So... at some point, I guess that tree is going to have to go. You are actually a Hylian. I am happy to finally reveal the secret to you. Yay! You probably could have already guessed it if you believed the whole theory of the Kokiri can't leave the forest or they die. Which again, we already got into that last episode about how, well, they leave the forest in the endgame, right? In the post-credits, so... I guess it depends on how canon you want that to be. I feel like it is, but, you know... I can understand people saying no to that as well. If you know what you must do. Well, yeah, we already did know that, but sure. Like, basically, we'd already been told that by Raru and by Sheik, so really we didn't need to hear it a third time. We didn't need to hear it the second time, honestly. Unless you just took a really long time to get here for whatever reason, which I guess that is possible. Like, I imagine the first time that somebody, like, when this first came out, somebody didn't know where they were going. As a kid, like, yeah, they got the hint of, between Navi and, like, hey, you need to get the weapon from Kakariko, the hookshot. But I gotta imagine that, like, even still, people wandered around and was like, okay, well, what does Hyrule Field look like now? What does the ranch look like now? What does Zora's River look like now? All that other stuff. Just to see how it had changed. Yeah, I'll go ahead and grab it now. It's probably, like, time-wise better to get the Quiver upgrade after the Prelude, but I'm going to go ahead and get the Prelude now. Because in theory, I could just get it on the way to Death Mountain, because I'd be going there anyway for the Fire Temple. But should I decide to get the Poe hunting out of the way after I get Epona, then I'll already have the arrow upgrade, and I don't have to go and get it. I'm leaning towards a no for getting it, but we'll see. And I'll probably just do it after the Fire Temple, which renders the order that I'm going here completely pointless. It'll depend on how much time I got, which I probably won't have enough to do the Poe hunting. I'll have enough for the Fire Temple, though. So I've got basically an hour and 20 minutes. Roughly. So, we'll see how it goes. Whoa, I was not prepared for that. They were, like, already going across the screen at that point. Yeah, I'm not doing good here. I get an 8, which I guess is a free... I don't remember if the minimum for a free redo is 8 or 7. I'm pretty sure it's 8, but I could be wrong. That was a good save. Alright, let's see. Nope, I thought I was going to do the green one jumping up. Nice. 2 attempts, not bad. Pretty sure that's what I got on the other one as well, was 2 attempts. Expecting something there. Oh well. I'm not going to lose sleep over being 20 rupees shy, because it's really, as an adult, there's not that much you need to spend your money on, honestly. It's like that, yes, I will give you that, and then also the archery in the desert. It's like, what, 10 to enter the training grounds in Gerudo? It's not much. I guess technically the most you need at any given time is the 50 for betting for Epona, but, like, you get that back. You just need to have it, is all. I think that's about it. The tunics, I mean, you can buy the tunics if you want, but you get both for free. And the only reason you'd buy them, outside of not knowing that, would be if you lost them to a like for too long and it didn't give it back to you. Yeah, do your little screechy noise at me. By the time they get up and actually recognize you're there, you've already gotten too far past them and they don't pose much of a threat. I'm willing to bet the amount of people that have played this game all the way through that have died to one of those specifically in the bazaar is pretty low. That'd be interesting statistics to pull if it was possible to pull at the time of, like, of all the people who played this, like, what was the most common cause of death? Was it, like, a specific boss? Was it, like, lava? Was it dying in Death Mountain Crater because you ran out of time? Trying to think what specifically it could be, too, that would, like, really get somebody. Because I feel like it would probably be something early game, because when you have more hearts, it's less likely. But I feel like it probably was one of the bosses, actually. I feel like it would have been one of the more difficult adult bosses that would have been the most likely to get kills. So, Phantom Ganon or Bongo Bongo, maybe. I haven't seen a lot of people die to Ganon, but you also get the double defense by that point, so of course that's going to make it way harder to lose. Because instinctively I was going to be like, oh, fall damage. And I'm like, no, that's more later Zelda. That's more like Wind Waker, Breath of the Wild, Twilight Princess likely than it is here. Because there's like a set amount of damage you can take from fall damage. Like, it's bad, sure. It's like, I think it's 2 hearts, 2.5 hearts, 3 hearts, somewhere in there. But like, you can't lose any more than that. So it probably isn't fall damage. If it was Breath of the Wild, they'd be like, yeah, it's probably fall damage. Like, very highly likely, I would say fall damage is what has killed the most amount of players, or players the most amount of times, is probably fall. But I don't know about this one. I'm trying to think what else it could be that would kill somebody early. Most of the kid bosses aren't too difficult, so I don't feel like it'd be any of the kid bosses. I've always said one of the places that's easiest to lose health without realizing it is the Shadow Temple. So it could be that. Because you've got all those invisible spikes and junk, and so you're just like, yeah, I'll just run over it, it's fine. Trust me, you don't think the same when you've done a 3-heart run. You're a lot more careful about those things. It's fine when you have 16, 17, 18 hearts to take, 3 or 4 hearts of damage, but when you're doing a 3-heart run, if you've taken 3 hearts of damage, you're dead. So, a little different. I'm pretty sure she's not out during the nighttime, so I could be wrong about that, but I know she's out there during the day. I could be getting her confused with Romani, though, from Majora. Because Romani's not out there during the night except for the first night. Hi, Epona. Hi, Malin. It's the fairy boy again. I heard that you found my dad. How did you like the castle? Did you see the princess? Yeah, I sure did. I came home in a hurry after you found him. Yeah, because he fell asleep. Weirdo. Like, what a weird place for her to fall, or him to fall asleep, rather. There we go. You have to talk to her like a high amount of times, all things considered. It's not until she's like, my mother composed this song, let's sing together, then you find out. I'm willing to bet at least one person stopped on like the Epona's afraid of you, and you're like, oh, well, I guess I'll have to come back later. I don't have whatever I need. And then lo and behold, you would if you just talked to her one more time and then pulled out the Ocarina. You've learnt Epona's song. And now I can go and save her in the future. I feel stupid for forgetting that, too. That's like literally the first thing I do if I'm doing a normal run of this when I go to switch to be an adult is go save Epona. That's the first thing that I do. Alright, I'll see you in 7 years, Epona. It's gonna suck, but you know what? You'll get through it. Then you'll be free. Well, free. You'll be free in the adult timeline. In the kid timeline, Epona goes off with you for the events of Majora, so... Because I'm pretty sure it's confirmed that even in Termina, in Romani Ranch, like, it is Epona. It's, like, one of the few things that's why Link's, like, all happy and running up to Epona, because it's actually, like, the proper Epona, and so he recognizes Epona as opposed to it being Romani instead of Malin, or, whoever. The Gorman brothers instead of Ingo, or, whatever the case may be. let's go free Epona. So I don't actually think freeing Epona isn't required, I'm pretty sure. Because to get over the bridge to Gerudo Valley, you can just use the long shot and grab the wood on the other side of the busted bridge. You don't need Epona to jump across. Yeah, I'm thinking we'll probably have enough time to do this in the Fire Temple. I don't think we'll have enough for the Poe hunting, which is fine, because honestly, in terms of, like, doing everything to get all the items and all the heart pieces, that's probably my least favorite thing to do. Because not only is the bottle not really necessary, all that for a bottle's kind of not worth it. I mean, you basically have a full wallet by the end of it, sure, but again, by this point, money's not really that helpful. Hi. Don't be ridiculous. That guy Talon was weak. I, the hardworking Ingo, poured so much energy into this play. You know what? I'll actually give him a tiny bit of credit, because I'm pretty sure it's not implied he's ever lazy, like in the version where he's younger. Like, he does pretty much all the work and Talon just lazes about. Like, it's shown that he's pretty lazy. The methods that he did to get the ranch, not so good, though. Which is why he only gets a tiny bit of credit. God, could you imagine how relieving that must be to Epona? Like, she could be stuck in here for who knows how long. For, like, all this time, and then she actually, like, hears a familiar tune that she loves, and even though it's not Malin, it's still, like, it's somebody that she trusts because it's Epona's song, so it's like, oh, it's clearly, at the very least, somebody I know, and even though it's just some kid that she met once, she still recognizes the tune and probably recognizes him as a result. Always found this one's particularly odd, where, like, you have to pay 10 rupees and do it, and then pay 10 rupees again and do it a second time. It's like, you think you could just do it the first time, but for whatever reason, nope. Sure can't. And the only reason I did the fence jumping, by the way, that was just to get the money back. If you actually do need the 10 rupees, if you forgot that you had to bet the 50 after paying the 10, and you're like, oh shoot, I'm short, you can jump the fences and get 5 from each, and that'll put you back at whatever you were at before you paid the 10. And you can do it both times, as you can see, so you can get back to, presumably, if you made that mistake, probably 50. Alright. This honestly isn't that bad. Pretty much just wait for him to take a turn too wide and then just keep him behind you the entire time. Because he'll get stuck on you too, so like you don't even have to use the boosts. You can just keep him directly behind you, and then once you get to the end, just sprint for the finish. There you go. Love that noise that he made. I can't even hear it, but I can hear it in my head. You win, you can keep the horse. Well, okay. So now I've got this brand new strategy for this one. It's called Nothing Changes. Like, it's He'll take the turns a little bit tighter than he did the last time, but there will still come a point, yeah, right here, where he takes a turn too wide, and that's the point where you can overtake him. And then just keep him behind you and you're good. Because his horse will just push you forward if you keep him directly behind you, and then you're good. That's it. Is that a... How did you not know it was Epona? Like, she has a very distinct coat relative to the other horses you have, dude. I'll give the horse to you, however, I'll never let you leave this ranch. Well, that's fine, I don't care. If you don't want me to leave, that's fine. Like, I'll just leave myself. Yay! She's free! Oh, imagine how happy that horse must be, not only to be... Like, at first she gets out of the little pen that she was in and she has a little bit more room for the entire ranch, and then it's like, you know what, let's not do the entire ranch, let's let you have the entirety of Hyrule Field. You can go anywhere you want out here. Up to and including it, like, inside a couple areas a little bit, too. Yeah, now he's all drunk. Hey, Malin. Thank you very much for the other day. I haven't even asked you your name yet. And then, of course, yep. That's what I thought. You're the fairy boy from the forest. That was years ago. Do you remember me? I have to tell you about Mr. Ingo. He was afraid that the evil king might find out that Epona had been taken away. It really upset him. He went back to being a normal, nice person. He was drunk, man. I guess in theory he got, like, you know, potentially cursed by Ganon's evil magic or something and got mind wiped. Maybe? How about trying your skill with Epona on an obstacle course? I'm going to give this one attempt. I'll time you for 2 laps. It's pretty challenging. If you miss jumping a fence in the proper order, you'll fail. How about it? Do you want to try? Current record is 50 seconds. Try to beat this record. If you can beat the record, I'll give you a present. Give it your best shot, okay? The present is not worth it. In fact, if you didn't even know that you got something out of this, I would not blame you. Downside is you have to use the carrots the entire time. Actually, you know what? Let's just auto-fail this. It'll be faster. We'll skip that one. And we'll jump this. Okay, I will give it one actual try, since I forgot that. Okay, cool, you actually don't. I thought she had said you had to saddle up, and then she didn't make me do it, so... Okay. So for these really small fences, you don't have to, but for the medium and large ones, you do have to jump them. Got it. Or you have to use a carrot, rather. I thought I was going to be too slow on that one. That was weird. I actually couldn't, like, use the carrots during that part where she was like, one more lap. Let's see if I can actually do this correctly this time. 3. $48. $49. That'll work. Beautiful. I don't think... Maybe they mentioned what it is. You did it! 49 seconds is the new course record. I have to give you a present to commemorate your new record. The present is a little too heavy to give to you here, so I'll have it delivered to your house. Bet you can't wait to see it. So yeah, it actually gets put like in your house in Kokiri Village. The prize is a cow. Like an actual cow. So basically you can go to your house and get infinite milk with Epona's song. But there are better healing items, like fairies, for example, that are pretty prominent and all over the place, for one. And for two, like, as an adult, and even as a kid, really, that's kind of out of the way. But if you really care about getting everything in the game, I guess you do have to do that. Alright, so now that we're done messing around with Epona and getting the cow and all that good stuff, I guess I could, like, just take the rest of the time and do the pose, but I feel like this would be more interesting, personally, so... And playing for 2 hours and only doing one temple in Ocarina of Time is kind of... That feels like I'm going pretty slow. I know for some people that's not, but for me it is. So I'll basically have just under an hour to do this, but I feel like that'll be plenty of time. The Fire Temple's not very hard. And it's also got one of the easiest bosses in the game, in my opinion. Though I just remember now, I do have to stop, what's-his-face from rolling around. I was trying to remember, because I'm pretty sure you don't talk to Darmani, oh my gosh. I'm pretty sure you don't talk to Darunia until you're in the temple. Well, if that had been online, that would have been the first throw, but I threw it off to the side. Spacing-wise, that was perfect, but oh well. Okay, that one I thought I got, and apparently somehow I didn't. How'd I keep missing? I mean, that one I was kind of just blind firing, but... Maybe I'll do this the old-fashioned way, then. It's the smart way to do it, if I can do it correctly here, and I'm kind of in a bad setup. Seriously, that didn't get him? That looked like it was right on top of him. Is it basically to make him stop and go the other way because of you, and when he turns around, that's when he gets hit. Yeah, that should be hitting him. I feel like I've gotten him too many times on this for this to not count. Okay. That went up and landed on the rope up there. But alright. That's fine. I've never seen that happen before. I didn't think it could go that high. I figured it would go through the rope. I didn't think it would land on him. There we go. That was the first shot I made outside the one that fell on the rope that didn't look like it was going to work. And sure enough, it did. I've never seen that happen before, where it landed on the rope. That's hilarious. My dad is Darunia. Do you remember? No, because I called him Darmani, which is completely wrong. That's the Majora's Mask Goron that's important. That's the one that you get the mask of. Sign it to my friend. We've met once. Also, please help everyone. Can I have your autograph? Also, please save literally everyone in the village. Everyone will be eaten by Volvagia. I've seen the size of Volvagia, and he cannot eat y'all. That is a long, thin, like, Eastern-style dragon. He does not have a big enough mouth or stomach to eat you guys. While my dad was out, Ganondorf's followers came and took them all away. Dad went to the fire temple all by himself to try and save everyone. Well, how did you get left behind, out of curiosity? Not by your dad, but by Ganon's followers. Did you hide in one of those rooms that just opened up and they just couldn't get in? Alright, let's fire it up. Good old DMC. Yeah, it's looking like we'll have probably about 50 minutes to do this temple, because we got this cutscene, and then I also need to go and plant the bean here, so I can get the piece of heart that's on top of the crater. The passion of friendship will soon blossom into a righteous power, and through it, you will know which way to go. The Bolero Fire. Probably my least favorite of the Warp songs in terms of how it sounds. Like, it's alright. It's either that one or Prelude of Light. And my favorite's, without a question, like, without any competition, has to be the Requiem of Spirit. The only one that might come close to that's the Serenade of Water. You have learnt the Bolero of Fire. What is a bolero? It's a Spanish dance in simple triple time. Also, a woman's short open jacket. Well, the more you know, I guess. We've all learned something here today. It's that I tried to open a menu that I didn't need to. I think this actually will give me another heart container, because I think it was at 3. I could be wrong about that, though. I've not been keeping track, admittedly. But now's usually when I do this, because it's the easiest time where I'll remember. Because if I leave it for after, it's going to be like the double magic I'm probably going to forget. So I'm really bad about forgetting to get the double magic. And it's usually not until I'm about to enter the water temple I'm like, why don't I have double magic? Pretty sure I'm supposed to have that by now. I think it's in my head because I'm so used to Majora's Mask. And so as a result, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not supposed to get the double magic until after I'm done with the... like, all of the Goron stuff, not just the Fire Temple. Or, like, I don't have the Stray Fairies, or whatever it is that in my head where I'm like, oh, well, no, I can't do that yet. Alright. Back to the temple, and now we'll just leave the one that's in Desert Colossus, which won't be for a while. When is the earliest point you can travel to Desert Colossus, anyway? Because I know there's the whole thing of, like, the Shadow Temple was supposed to be the final temple, not the Spirit Temple. But can you do it before the Water Temple? I think you do need the long shot. Maybe. Because to get over, like, the little quicksand indentation thing, you either have to have the hover boots or the long shot, I think. Always hated going through that desert, though. That part's not fun. Not as bad as rounding up the pose, just kind of a little bit of pain in the butt. Alright. Is this the right one? Yep. Give me that. Nope, that was 3. Oh well. Camera? Thanks, appreciate it. Oh, I thought that was a bird for a minute. I'm like, what's a bird doing in Death Mountain Crater? Get out of here. Alright, yeah, so we got about 55 minutes to tackle this thing. Luckily, it's not too bad. Most of what's going to take up the time is probably going to be the cutscenes. Between talking to Darmani and picking up all the keys, because there are a lot of keys in this dungeon. I believe it is the most of any dungeon in this game. Luckily, this has an incredibly easy pattern. And if, again, like with the water and forest temples, if you know that pattern, you're pretty much set. He is going to feed my people to the evil dragon as a warning to the other races that might resist him if I had that fire breathing, or if that fire breathing, yeah, okay. I will go on ahead to try to seal up the evil dragon. Well, good luck. It doesn't imply that he died, or well, I mean, it kind of doesn't. Like, you don't see him until after you kill the dragon and whatnot, but I'm pretty sure also the sages can't be sages if they die. So I think he just gets trapped / imprisoned. Oh, for crying out loud. Yep, that's exactly what I wanted. I didn't want to stand on that little piece. I wanted to jump all the way in there. Alright, let's try that one more time. Once more with feeling, please. Thank you. This is probably honestly the easiest adult dungeon, because even if you are having trouble, you can talk to the Gorons, and the Gorons all give you not phenomenal hints, but they do give you hints, and then they leave. If you don't talk to them, if you leave the room and come back, they'll be gone anyway, so you don't have to worry about, like, oh, well, the village will still be empty just because you didn't bother to talk to them. No, they'll leave of their own accord. So the idea is, outside of this very first door, that you will get 2 keys and then use those 2 keys. And then you'll get 2 more keys and you'll use those 2 keys, and it just repeats until you run out of keys and you're done with the dungeon. So it's not too terribly difficult, as long as you remember that before you unlock any door outside that first one, and of course the boss key door, that you should have 2 keys, you'll be fine. This is where all of your keys will be, including the boss key. They'll all be in rooms that have this kind of background to them. And all of them will have Gorons in them as well, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure this is just a Skull Chill token, but I'll grab it anyway. I think there's also a like in here, but he won't be too much of a problem. Are the Tile Masters in here too? Yeah, they're in here. Did I throw a bomb at you, mister? This is how I deal with the one in the water temple, is just double bomb him. Because the one that's in the water temple that I'm thinking of is actually in a pretty bad spot, so. Alright. Let's get out of here. The other upside to having the fire tomb is you can actually walk a decent distance on just, like, magma for... It's probably, like, a second and a half, full second. It's enough to where, like, you can run it and take a small bit of damage, or if you make a mistake, you have enough time to correct it before taking damage. And luckily as well, outside of the hammer, once you get it, pretty much the only thing you really need is the ocarina on occasion, maybe the hook shot, like once or twice, but mostly it's just bombs and a little bit of the hammer. Here we are, back in the first stream that I ever saw of any Zelda game. This one right here. Watching somebody do the fire temple. Here's a cool little effect you can do. Whee! The little laser does not, or the magic swirl does not follow you, which is kind of funny. You don't have to kill these guys, but every time that I've actually decided to be nice and leave them alone, they've caused me problems, so... They're not too terribly hard, they'll always drop magic. Pretty simple enemies. I'm pretty sure you don't have to pull that block all the way over, but you can if you want. And yes, you do have to drop the bomb like that for anybody that's not played before. You'll not have enough time to get there otherwise. You can't hit it, go around, jump, get on the block and whatnot, so just bomb it. Alright, time for the maze. We're going to use the maze strategy, which is just hug a wall until you get everything. Speaking of walls, here's the camera clipping through one. At least it's not that ugly chartreuse green color that was in Jabu Jabu's belly. The brown is a lot easier on the eyes. But to be fair, that was not a high bar to clear. I'm going to skip the door right there, because that's the locked one. We'll come back to that in a second. This really does feel like the dungeon I can autopilot the most. Just going through the motions. And leaving the Gorons behind. It would be kind of funny in a like sick and twisted way of thinking if they were just like, oh, well, I don't know how to get out. Well, we unlocked the door for you, yeah, but there's another door. We'll just turn the handle. What? Skipping the map once more, in case you were curious, that other exit. Yeah, shoot the eye switch, get in there, map's in there. I'm gonna skip it, don't care. Moving on. It might be the compass, not sure which. That shows how little I care. Well, that guy usually gets me, but he didn't that time. Oh well, there's always another chance. He'll get it one day, just not today. Alright, I should have grabbed that, but it did not work for some reason. I must have just grabbed it at a weird angle. It just really wanted me to do this room again. That's all it is. One of the rooms where I actually can't go at, like, full speed. Otherwise I'll make a mistake and screw up like I did a second ago. That probably is the worst part of this, or like the worst thing that can happen in this dungeon is making mistakes like that. You often have to go through rooms again. Like falling down that middle spire when you're trying to get the hammer, that sucks. Because that's going to send you basically back to the beginning of the dungeon. Alright, let's try that again. Careful about lining this up this time. There we go. No thanks, not interested. Just casually kill that guy. This one can kind of be a pain in the butt. I'll wait for that boulder to go by. I've never gotten clipped by one of those, but I have seen somebody get clipped by one of those while making one of these jumps, so I'm always paranoid about them now. I honestly thought for a split second it was going to make me talk to the Goron when I hit A. Thanks for saving me. Here's a secret. Did you know that some of these floors can be bombed if they look like they can? Like, yeah, I've already done it twice. Do you know you can hit them with your sword, though? And they'll sound different? Yes, I already knew that. Oh, okay. I don't remember if I need to do this now or if this is just... No, I do need to do this now. There is a key in here. Okay. Couldn't remember if that was a shortcut or a key in a shortcut bag. It is a key in a shortcut. I think, oddly enough, this is one of the few times you can't grapple the chain link. Normally you can. That's like one of the few walls. For some reason you can't. And I don't know why. I guess it just wasn't programmed in. Most of the time, if there's a chain wall like this, you can grapple up it. But no go here, I guess. Alright, is our little buddy going to be a butt today? Nope, guess not. Not that I'm going to complain about it. Sometimes he'll get you while you're coming up, and it's a pain. Also, yes, Navi did freak out there for a second. There's a Scarecrow's song, Scarecrow thing that you can spawn in. All it leads to is a gold Skulltula. And I think a chest with 200 rupees if you want that, but, yeah, I'm good. I'll pass, thanks. Important to know for a randomizer, probably not for your vanilla game. Ah, this room. Clear, I've not been in here in a while if I'm making that many mistakes. I don't think I need this right now, but I'm going to go ahead and play it. Because that lets you get up there, but I'm pretty sure there's nothing you can do right now, because the switch is rusted, and so you need the hammer. I'm going to double check, but I'm pretty sure you can't do anything here. You can go up there, which will lock you outside. And it'll just send you back to the start of the room you were just in, so like it doesn't do anything worthwhile. Getting past that switch got me so many times as a kid because it messed with the camera angle, and so I was like, Why is there a firewall where there wasn't a second ago? Because I just walked through there, and it's because I was walking one too far forward, and as a result, it was messing me up. Alright, so now it should be... Yes, mini-boss time. This guy's not too bad. Basically just run in the direction opposite of him. I recommend the quick spins. They're the easiest to get off on him. A couple ways you can knock this guy out. Hammer, once you have it, is probably the easiest, because all you have to do is get him with a shockwave. You can pull him out with the grappling hook. Bombs work. Deku Nut might work. You know what? Let's find out. Does the Deku Nut work on these dudes? I'm genuinely curious. Hey, nerd. Nope, doesn't work. I had a feeling it probably wasn't going to, but it would have been interesting if it did work. Alright. That guy's gone. Actually, I almost messed up for a second there, because I'm like, that was the door we used to come in here. I was getting it confused with the second time you fight that guy. Are we here? We are here. It is time to bring forth the rhythm and the rhyme. But first, I'm going to try to get rid of these bats. Namely him, because he's usually the one that causes the most problems. Alright, cool. Now that those are gone, and we don't have to worry about them screwing things up. Something I don't like about these switches is you just can't step on them diagonally. And diagonally would be the easiest way to get them here. I remember that being a lot harder the last time I did this, which was semi-recently than it was just then, but okay, if you say so. It's so heavy you need to use 2 hands to swing it. Well, yeah, in theory you're supposed to do that with Ragnell, but that didn't stop Aikna, did it? Oh well, Ike's got more muscle than Link, but he's also dumber, so... Alright, now I got my favorite weapon in the game, which tragically does not work on a lot of stuff, and I wish it worked on more than it did. I think weapon-wise, this is probably most known for taking on Dark Link with. Oh, right, I need the stupid thing. Why did I jump down here? That was dumb. I'm gonna have to climb all the way back up and get attacked by bats. Thanks for giving me the boost. I'm not falling for that again. You gonna roll back around here? You can do it? Your friend is. There, I will deliver you a punishment worse than death. You will get to live with none of your friends around. At least until I leave the room and they all respawn. Alright, let's have a look here. Back in the maze room. Well, one of the maze rooms. I guess there's two. The switch is all rusted. Yeah, that's why I hit it with a hammer. I could have done that when I came back out, but just on instinct of, like, am I supposed to do this now or later? I figured now was probably better. Yeah, you said that already. There's that, and I believe this is the only other time outside of the first key you get that you're only supposed to have one key. And for the record, if anybody cared, which I'm willing to bet is probably a grand total of 0 people, where is it? That door right there that we never went into, that it just leads into a dead end with the map or the compass, whichever one that I said it was or wasn't the other time. So that was why I skipped it. Alright. We have a key, but no boss key, so let's go get the boss key. Yep. That's where we'll come out. Oh, thanks for the arrows. Appreciate that. Not sure why a bat was holding on to arrows, but I guess it's fine. Could have sworn there was going to be at least one more bat, but I guess not. Alright, round 2 against the little disco dancer dude. Oh, no, not yet. And there goes like. Kill you. Force of habit, and move on. See, that's why I say the hammer's easier. You don't have to aim, really. And now green. Hey, don't do that. Don't land on top of me like that. Not cool, man. And gone. And he drops bombs. The first guy never drops anything, but that guy always drops bombs, and I don't know why. You think it would be both of them would always drop it, or neither would ever drop anything, but yeah. And your reward for doing that is, unsurprisingly, bombs. Also the way forward, but, you know. I was expecting a 3 for 3 there. I was really expecting Navi to be like, hey, the switch is rusted. Alright, cool. That was not too bad, all things considered. We are pretty much done now. I think at that point when you talk to that guy, he's like, oh, you afraid everybody go save Big Brother, and leaves. I don't think he actually gives you a tip. Well, I'll give you a tip instead, and it's probably completely useless. The pots that are up there, which you can grapple to that from the pot from over here, one of the pots has a fairy in it, if you need it. I don't, because this boss fight's a joke. Let's go play some whack-a-mole. I do like how Fulvagia looks, though, for the record. It looks really cool. Bear in mind, this is a game that's 23 years old. I mean, Volvagia looks pretty good for his advanced age in terms of the technology world. They did a pretty good job with that, honestly. He is a pretty cool lava/fire dragon. Now let's go kill him. Alright, now we wait. That's pretty much the strategy. I don't know if the jump attack with the hammer does more damage, but I do know that with the sword it does. So might as well do both, but I guess if you have to pick one, if you're running that low on time, then go with the sword. The big key on getting both those to hit is to step back a little bit after you get him with a hammer. And then just hug the side of the wall, because if he's going to come try to breathe fire at you, he'll come up and then realize you're not there, so he'll go back down. And if he drops rocks, he'll still drop the rocks, but none of the rocks will land on you. So you can just hug the wall and wait. That's it, yeah. And it's just rinse, lather, repeat until the fight's over. He'll do a couple fake outs with the whack-a-mole section. That's about it. That's the only thing that really changes. Got a bit unlucky there because he picked the one farthest away from where I was, but he's not that bad. Oh, I thought I was going to have to hit him with one more cycle. I guess not. Well, off he goes. I'd say he's probably the easiest of the adult bosses. You could probably argue for the Water Temple boss if you can get the little trick for him to work right. If you can do that, you can kill him probably as fast as Queen Goma, if not pretty dang close. But time does not necessarily mean, like, taking more time on a boss does not necessarily mean the boss is harder. Sometimes you're just stuck, like with this one, where you can't damage him. But whatever he's doing for attacks are negligible. They're not doing anything, so... Oh, that looks kind of bad. Oh! Nice butt shot on that dude there. Yay, it looks all pretty again. That's like my favorite part of watching these scenes, is like you're getting to watch the world piece by piece start to look normal again. Like Lon Lon Ranch is back to normal, where the people that are supposed to be in charge are in charge. Kokiri Forest doesn't have a bunch of monsters making it to where all the kids have to hide. Death Mountain is back to normal. All the nasty clouds are out of the sky. By the way, I, the Wild Darunia, turned out to be the Great Sage of Fire. Isn't that funny, brother? Well, this must be what they call destiny. Yeah, thanks. Ah, good. He finally realized that we were meant to be friends and not lovers. Good. Ooh, pretty. Now it gets to sit on my subscreen and look not as pretty. Oh well. And with that, we get spit back out here. And before I forget, I'm going to go grab the double magic. Because otherwise, I will almost assuredly forget. It's always the double magic, too. Like, the one upgrade in Majora that I typically forget to grab after I've gotten all the fairies is the one for double magic. Yeah, look, I get you're trying to make her, like, all sexualized and stuff, but because she's in, like, this weird, at the time, new 3D modeling, it just doesn't do it. Sorry. Like, it's cool that you get all these 3D polygons, but as a result, like, things that are meant to look curvy just look pointy, and, yeah. But now we get the double magic, which is probably the best thing that you can get in the game. And that might actually include double defense if you're a good player, because you're more likely to run out of magic than you are health. Alright, well, before we end off for the night, there's one more thing I want to show. Almost played the Serenade of Water, and I'm like, wait, that ain't it. We don't even have the Serenade of Water, dude. I guess there is one other thing we could do as well. We can show that off here in a second. But first I want to show this. In case anybody didn't believe what the reward was for doing the extra little race that you can do in Lon Lon Ranch. I almost said Romani Ranch, but nope, not Romani Ranch. To be fair, there's more to do in Romani Ranch than there is Lon Lon Ranch, so maybe that's why I'm always thinking of it. Because in that one, you have the Bunny Hood side quest, you have the doggy racetrack, the freaking doggy racetrack. That's where you get Epona, of course. That's where you do the quest of killing the alien guys. It's where you've got the quest on the second day, where you have to knock down the Gorman brothers, or that's at least where it starts. Yep, so there you go. There's the reward for doing the race, is the cow. I don't think there's anything else in here other than, like, your typical, yeah. Largest fish caught, how many spiders you killed, which is the gold Skulltulas. The marathon time, the horse race time. So it actually is calculated on there. The marathon I never do, though, because I don't think you get a reward for that. Like, I think other than that time, it is literally nothing. Alright, the other thing we can do before we end off, because I still have a fair bit of time here. I've actually got about 20 minutes, 15 minutes. Since we are one heart piece shy of getting to 14 hearts, let's go ahead and fix that now. Normally I would just do this after I got the Lens of Truth, and just do it all in one hit, because you could also do the treasure chest game, but we can do it now. So, do it we shall. Unfortunately, we do not have a warp that is going to be faster as of right now. Everything we have will send us farther away. And I think even if we had all the warps, we still wouldn't be able to do that. Yeah, because I don't even think Serenade of Water would get us there faster. Oh well. So we're at 25 for Skulltulas, huh? I'm trying to remember what the reward for 30 is. 50 is the piece of heart. 20 is the rumble thing. I think 30 is bomb chew, actually, but I'm not 100% certain about that. It's not anything important, that's for sure. It is not anything I will miss. Keep going until you fall in the water. Whoa, that was weird. Did that happen on my end, or was that... Yeah, that was weird. That happened in the game. Okay, so it wasn't a recording thing. It was like the river flashed like a really light blue and went higher, like the tide was higher on it, right after I got out of it. That was weird. So you can pretty much do this once you've got all the... Well, if you're going to do both things, because you get 2 pieces of art for this. One of them you need the Song of Storms for, the other you need all the other non... I guess you do need Song of Storms as well. You need all the non-warp songs to get both, but if you have just the Song of Storms, that works too. Because you could have gotten this far without Epona song, as well as the Sun song, too. The rest of them you would have needed by now. Alright. So we'll just start with Song of Storms and go from there. Thanks. Alright, that puts us 14. That's not what I meant to do. And for the rest of these, just play all the non-warp songs first. Doesn't matter what order. Whatever your heart desires. And you'll get money for this, sure. That's fine, I guess. That's Zelda's Lullaby. There's Epona song. Or, sorry, Saria song. Saria song starts from the lowest note, not counting the A, and goes up, and Epona song does the opposite. It starts from the highest note and goes down. Unless I already played that one. Which is possible, and I just wasn't thinking. Nope, I haven't played that one yet. Okay, good. Sun Song, and then last, of course, the Song of Time. I remember there was one time, I think, on stream where I played this, and I actually had to go into my menu and figure out which song I hadn't played, because I genuinely just forgot the Song of Time. Like, I had it. I was just like, what song did I not play? And it was like, oh, right, the Song of Time. Duh. It's just impressive that I forgot that, considering how important it is in Majora's Mask. Alright, so, once all of them have been giant-sized, you need to play... Well, I was gonna read it off. Ready, set, go. It is... A, left, right, down, A, down, right, left, A. You're matching the butterflies that's over their head, but honestly, I just prefer to look that up because the penalty on it, like, they don't give you a lot of time, truthfully, so. For now, though, I don't think there's anything else I need to do as a kid. I'm gonna check when I get back to the Temple of Time, and I'll try to figure out what heart pieces I'm missing. There's some I could get, like the treasure chest thing, but I'm not doing that without the Lens of Truth. So if you were hoping for that, well, keep hoping. Hope's a nice thing to have, I guess. Alright, so we'll still have 3 more hearts to grab from bosses, so that leaves us with 3 heart sets, so it would be 12 minus the one we have, which is 11. Thinking off the top of my head, I'm trying to think if there's any as a kid, because let's see. Did we get... There might have actually been one we missed. I might have actually missed that one. Did we miss the one in the graveyard where you have to play the Sun Song? I feel like I wouldn't have missed that, but I think I did, actually. I know I got the shield from there, but I don't think I opened the other grave and did that. And I'm not sure why I wouldn't have done that, but I feel like I didn't, actually. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I did both the ones in Gerudo Valley. I caught the fish. I did both of the Skull Kid ones. I brought the dog back to her owner. I did the one in Mountain Crater. I did the one in Kakariko where the cow is. I threw the bomb into the pot in Goron City. The Bomb Chew. Did the one in Hyrule Field. Did the ones in Zora's River. And Zora's Domain with the torches. I did that. Are there any others? A kid? I don't think there are. Other than, again, that one that's the... whatchamacallit. I just did the frogs. Are there any other ones? I don't think there are. I think that's it. I'm pretty sure, anyway. And maybe I got this one and I just forgot, but I'm pretty sure I actually didn't. Which is weird, because this would have been, like, one of the first pieces of heart that I got. Like, I should have gotten this the first time I came here when I got the Sun Song. Because usually you'll get that, and then get the shield, and then do that right afterwards. So that would be Ding Dongo's cave. We'll just dodge that guy. There we go. In case no one's wondering, you can't mess with the graves while the kid's out. He'll be like, hey, don't mess with the graves, I'll tell Dompy, and then you can't pull any of the graves back. So this is the one with the shield, right? Yeah, I believe that's the one with the shield. In case anyone was curious, I'm sure it was probably no one, that's a fairy fountain. It takes a turn to the right, and it's a fairy fountain. Not the type that you play the Ocarina again. I'm like just the pink fairies you catch in the bottle. That's the wrong one. Ow. Rude. Did I do this? I did not. Which makes me wonder why I didn't do that. Hi. Alright, there we go. He's dead. That was weird. I had to hit that a bunch to actually get it to cooperate. Yeah, that's really weird that I just didn't do that. I guess I was not thinking along with when I didn't get a Pona song. But I'm pretty sure that's all the kid ones outside of the treasure chest game. I do not think there's anything else. I still have to plant a bean in the Desert Colossus as a kid, but, like, I'm gonna get that as an adult. I guess you could technically argue you could get the 50 gold Skulltula's reward as a kid, but eh. Alright, so that'll leave 10 pieces of heart for whatever's left. Which is going to be, let's see. I'm trying to remember while I'm sitting here. We just did Fire Temple. Alright, so there's going to be a couple that are... Well, there's the 50, so that's one. One, you do the fishing and get the gold scale to get that one, so that's two. The one in Hyrule Field that you need the scale of the boots for is 3. The 2 in Zora's Fountain is 4 and 5. The Ice Cavern has 1, which is 6. The Lens of Truth one is 7. The Desert Colossus Bean is 8. The Archery Range has 1, that's 9. Where's the 10th one? Oh, it's on top of Gerudo's Fortress. Okay, yeah, so that's all 10s. They're all accounted for. So we have every item except for... I'm trying to remember what that is. That's not the long shot. Oh, that's the lens. So the Lens of Truth, the 4th bottle, the giant side quest thing, the different elemental arrows we still have yet to get, the final magic spell will be in Desert, Big Goron Sword, Mirror Shield, Tunic, and both the boots will be in a later point. Gold Scale will be later. All the Warp Songs will be later. I think we have everything that we should have thus far. I believe we are good. I'm going to save twice just in case, though. And in the meantime, thank you all for watching, and I know Tim's actually doing a randomizer right now, so we will raid him. He is doing a Link to the Past Super Metroid randomizer. Looks like he's on break right now, though. Alright. I switched back to Dual Lane because I didn't want to have to warp here. Because for whatever reason, even after you get the songs and whatnot, it's like, oh, you quit while you were a kid, so you're still a kid, but that puts you back at your house. Yeah, let's see what he's doing for the time being. Not hearing anything, which is a bit odd. Do you not have any intermission music? That's a bit odd. Well, in that case...
Pepper, oh no they didn't. Papa John's just took all that pepperoni and stuff.
Okay, yeah, it is. Just on his end. Okay. Bit odd, but sure. If you enjoy watching randomizers, this is a mix of Link to the Past and Super Metroid. Both of which he is very good at just, like, naturally. And I know he's done several, so he knows what he's doing. But for now, tragically, I have to get to work the first day of many. Hooray! Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys for more of this, probably just whenever I get the chance. Likely about the time we started here, late afternoon, early evening, kind of depending on the day. We will see how it goes. But until then, I must now go prepare for the joys of sitting around and doing nothing, mostly. Take care, and see y'all later.